I don't know. It says I'm live. So maybe people will find me. Maybe. Because it kept trying to stream me. I was trying to go to my streaming website, not my live one. So we shall see.
We have you under a new video.
So it's actually videoing.
Mm-hmm.
So I am live. Sorry about that, people. Confusion. I set up automated software and now it's like it will not want to work without the automation. The joys of technology. Hey, hey, Julie, how are you, sweetie? Sorry for the delay. It's crazy. Hey, Tammy, how are you, lovely, lovely guys? Appreciate it. Feel free to share out the broadcast on your Facebook or Twitter or Tumblr, whatever. I'm not opposed to sharing. Sharing is caring. Trying to get my subscribers built up here because once I get to 100, then I can actually do so much more. And I'm going to have to pick this thing apart, figure it all out. So here's the deal. If you follow me on any of my social media, you know this is Chakra Week. All week from Thursday to Thursday, it's all about chakras. How to heal your own, how to work with them, what stones work with what chakras, you name it. And also the sale this week, since we're discussing chakras, is the Chakra Alignment Deep Cleanse for $60. It's 25% off regular price. So instead of 80, it's 60 this week. If you're interested, email me, abbyblack@outlook.com. Find me on Instagram at spiritual.awakenings, on Facebook at Reads by Abby Black. You can find me. The cell is there. Sorry about the technical issues. And thank you for the thumbs up, whoever done that. I appreciate that. So since it is just us currently, how about a freebie question? So we get some people in here. How's it sound for you? So Julie, you popped in here first. So do you have a question you want to ask? Something you want to know about? Hey, the benefits of being in the Lonely Club. You're the only two in here right now. So I'm sure some of that had to do with the technical issues in the beginning. So what you want to know, Miss Julie? Hey, Black Cherry. Welcome. Glad you're here. I was wondering who that name was, the subscriber, the follower. I'm like, who's that? I know. When's your boyfriend showing up? Are we manifesting this one? Yeah, let's talk about her boyfriend. Hello, Evelette. Evelette, I probably spelled that said that all wrong. Julie, honey, if you're looking for a sexual encounter, you could probably have that relatively easy. As far as someone for an actual committed relationship, I don't see that. Not anytime soon. I do feel like there is someone already around that would be willing, like I said, to have the sexual relationship, but I don't think that would be good for a real relationship. No, you actually have that wrong. In this case, you could have sex with no love. It's available for you. There's the individual already there. But as far as relationships, I'm looking at probably a year here. And you have at the 3-month mark, you've got the 6 of Wands in reverse position, which is you losing the battle. Then, you move into 4 to 5 months, you have the Lovers, but it's in relation to self. So it's you kind of coming to terms with limitations, things you could do, basically setting up your parameters. Because, if you want a relationship, you have to manifest it. But first, you have to be clear about what you want, what you need, that kind of thing. If you're just saying, oh, I want companionship, I want somebody, You ain't getting no younger. I feel you on that one. But you have to be exact with what you're wanting to manifest. And I think that you're going to have to, like I said, know them limitations first. What your expectations are, what you want, not just companionship. You have to say, okay, I want someone who I'm not going to have to support financially, or someone that I can actually carry on a conversation with, someone that's going to be mentally or emotionally supportive. You have to set those parameters because right now, you're just honestly, when you're manifesting, the more direct you are, the better. Because it's like if I throw you in a room with 1,000 people and I say, pick, yeah, you can have any one of them, but who's to say that they're going to be compatible and they're what you're going to want, you're going to be happy with. So the more you can link to it, narrow it down, the better. I think that's what you're going to have to go through and deal with. Because till then, it just doesn't look like much of anything. I mean, I wish I could tell you, yeah. But right now, it's just like you're saying, I want companionship. And the universe is like, well, there's a lot of fucking people you can be compatible with. Excuse the language, but hey. So, alrighty, Tammy. I'll hit you up too. Guys, feel free to share out the broadcast. Get people in here. Let them know that I exist, that this is going on. I used to broadcast all the time on Facebook, but Facebook is more glitch than anything, and it's very annoying. What is coming up for me that's important? You got it. So at least here, I'm not getting booted out all the time. Comments continue to roll. The screen, to my knowledge, doesn't freeze endlessly. So Facebook is, I'm transitioning all of my things to here. So Tammy, what does she want to know? What is going on with her? What is important? You actually look like you're doing pretty dang good. So kudos to you. First thing that comes up is the death card. Now, that's not a physical death. It's just saying changes, massive changes. And with you, it seems like a lot of the changes are involved around emotions, how you process them. Basically, like I was telling Julie earlier, set parameters. It's like you're setting parameters. And because you're setting parameters and limitations on what you allow, that way your emotions are more in check, you're more in control. It seems like it's bringing about a lot of changes in the way people treat you. So it's almost like you are finally demanding the respect for the things you do, the actions you take. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's good to know your value. It's good to have boundaries with people so that you're not being emotionally and mentally ran over all the time. You're doing that. You're doing amazing because you've got those changes coming. You've got them right there saying, you know what? Thank you. It's like your mind, your body, your spirit is congratulating you and thanking you right now because you come up as the Knight of Pentacles, meaning you're in charge. Your brain is starting to think clearer. You're starting to be able to see things in its truest form. It's not like somebody tells you something and you just believe it. It's like, no, you can see the warning signs. You can see that's not true. So your mind is coming back to you because you're not as overloaded emotionally and you are in control. You have the Seven of Cups. So it's basically saying if you keep doing this, you keep pushing, you keep setting these boundaries and limitations on other people, what's going to happen is a lot of the foolishness in your life is going to disappear. And it's going to start attracting the real things, the things with real value, real friendships, real relationships, real income, things that are not just you can see them, but you can't reach them. You get what I'm saying? Right now, you have the moon in reverse. So you have a massive period of mental and emotional clarity. And so right now is the time you need to be planning. You need to be figuring out what your next move is. Right now, you got to be strategic. Look at life like a chessboard. If I make this move, this is probably what life's going to do, and then I can do this. You're going to want to kind of take a moment to step back a couple times a day and look at everything, because you've got so much clarity coming in and you're seeing things so much differently than you did even a month ago. And so you want to make sure you keep moving forward, doing what you need to do so that you can keep progressing and attracting those positive things. But overall, you look fantastic. I don't see anything scary on you. I mean, I've seen your cards a lot of times, and it seems like in the last couple months, especially, you've been putting a lot of work into you. And for that, I'm proud of you. I don't know if anybody else has said it or if you've told yourself that, but yeah, you're making progress. You're doing good. So you just keep on that path and you'll be fine. So you understand what I'm saying? Does it relate? Does it resonate to you? Do you feels what I'm laying down? Hello, I'm not sure who all's in here. I see the head. It doesn't match who all's talking. So feel free to jump in the conversation. If you have a question, feel free to let me know. You need to be proud of yourself, girl. You've been putting in work and it shows. Spirit is like applauding you right now. So be proud of yourself. And, setting limitations is amazing. A lot of people think, oh, well, I have to just kind of give and give and give. If you don't take care of you, you can't take care of anybody else. All righty. What is your question? I'll do a couple freebies before I click into the paid one. So what is your question? Should I take a pregnancy test? Yeah. There are so many questions in that question. Jesus. There's the whole, I don't think it's possible. And then there's the, I really don't think you are. At least not right now. If you are, it would be quite shocking. There's a lot of questions that I keep having come up in my head. It's like they're flying at me so quick I can't even really pull them apart. The first one I got was, can I even get pregnant? So I don't know if that's a concern for you. If you thought maybe you had something going on where you didn't have the ability to get pregnant, because that's the first thing that comes up for me. The second thing that comes up is I honestly feel like you have a genuine desire, a want for a child because you have the Hierophant. Hierophant, usually when it comes to motives, they behave like the saint, basically. So it's you wanting and desiring a child and having this purest love and intention toward having one in the future. But you have the Chariot in reverse, you have the Six of Cups in reverse. So I feel like ideally the financial situation is what is not perfect. It's not what you would want it to be. I don't feel like there's stability there. Do you understand what I'm saying? Um, and I think that's some of the anxiety with, if I am, how do I proceed forward? You understand? I'm going to be honest though. I don't, right now it's coming across as a no. Usually I tell people, if you have to question if you need to take a pregnancy test, take one. But with you, yeah, that's a good thing right now. Yeah, right now, because like I said, with that whole, six that came up in reverse, it's basically saying there is a struggle. And I mean, yeah, you want one, you want A genuine, I think it would make you happy on some level, but I know you know that instability is there. So it's a good thing, I guess you said. All right. I would like to know what is the most important thing I need to know right now. All right. Well, let's take a look and see. We need to know what is the situation. What do we need to be focused on? What is the intent? What is the energy directed at? What is good? Ooh, my cards do not want to shuffle on you, girl. You must not really want to know. You are welcome. Mm. Okay, CW. First thing that comes up for you is Chariot. Okay, Julie next. Thank you, Julie. Got you next. Um, First thing that comes up for you is the Chariot card. Chariot is all about positive movement. It's about changing jobs, changing locations. It's all of those pivotal moves we make in life, transition points. Um, this actually feels like employment, finances. Are you wanting to change jobs right now? Or are you just changing jobs and you're questioning? Because I mean, the reason I'm saying question is you have the Knight of Swords. It's looking toward the past. So that's kind of saying, okay, it's kind of saying, you're reflecting back on bigger, better times. This definitely feels financial job. As far as jobs, I do think you'll probably have one pretty damn soon. The reason I say pretty damn soon is first position, Chariot. That's usually, 3 weeks out at the most. Um, Then you have the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is just basically for me, it's kind of like things are coming together. 10 is completion, so 9 is right before completion. So it's kind of the point where money's coming in, opportunities are coming in. You're having to shift and direct the finances, the energy to the places, oh, excuse me, to the places so that you can, figure out what needs to be done, get back on your feet and move forward. Um, the job, you've got the moon card in reverse and the page of pentacles. Either this is someone you've already dealt with, your employer that you're going to be going to, as far as it could be somebody you've already worked with in the past, or you at least put an application in there already. It doesn't seem like it's something new because there's already a linkage, a connection to you, to them. Because it feels very much revisiting the past, even with that Knight of Swords. So I don't know if you've been contemplating going back somewhere you previously worked because you can work there and the opportunities there and present. It definitely feels like you're going back to that though. And I get some kind of you kicking your own ass because you have the Page of Pentacles. So I don't know if you're really giving yourself hell because you could have been back to work sooner or you should have went back sooner. But excuse me, the Page of Pentacles is very much like it's you getting on your butt, basically. I wouldn't be in this place if I had did this and this and this. I wouldn't be in this place if I had just continued. I worked at a logging company and the logging company was shutting down. Okay. This feels like something else. I mean, it feels like I said, you've been connected to it already. So if you haven't worked for them, you've already maybe put the application in something because I mean, there's a linkage to you already. This is not something you've not found that's, you're just discovering you're going to go put the application in, that kind of thing. There is what the hell? A definite, excuse me, connection already in place. And like I said, it feels like somewhere you have already worked. Is logging the only thing you've done? Because like I said a while ago, it feels like It's something you did. You know you can go back. You know you could get hired on in a minute. That kind of situation. It's not a new experience. It feels like you know you could get on at this place. You've already dealt with them. You put the application in. But you may end up having to go back to the pizza place for a while because you probably don't want to hear that. But like I said, it's something you've already done. It feels like you need the money. You know that if you went and asked tomorrow, you would have the job back. It's kind of that kind of situation. And I mean, honestly, I feel like with that chariot first position, if you go, you got a job. It may not necessarily be what you want to do for the moment, but it is definitely some kind of income to help cover into everything else is taken care of and sorted so you can get a better job or a different job. Yeah. Pizza place, I really do. I feel like if you walk in the door and say, hey, look, I need a job, got it. It's that easy. Because it is, like I said, it's you revisiting something you've previously done. It's already there. So do that. Good gracious. I don't know what it is. Somebody just draining me. But yeah, I think honestly the job's already there. You'll be fine. You just got to get it situated in there. So Miss Julie, did you have question? Because you made a donation. So at this point, anybody else that comes in is going to be having to do it by donation. So feel free. Julie Kane, not to beat a dead horse, but how's my ex doing labor be? Nope. It's not beating a dead horse. I get it. You always have that hope and you always wish that they would. But that nope was because I don't see him stepping up. I will lay cards, but that some people are just not positive, productive people. There you go. It just kind of confirmed it. You got the Eight of Cups in reverse position, which is telling me basically to tell you you need to move on. It's not going to happen. The Devil card comes up on him, which is saying he's not speaking his truth. He's not dealing with his issues. And he's just kind of, I almost feel like he's avoiding you and avoiding her completely because you have the Hermit. He's avoiding all responsibilities. And I mean, honestly, he knows he looks like shit. He knows what he needs to be doing, but he doesn't care. He does not care because he doesn't care how people see him or how they view him. And in this case, you've got to be the Queen of Cups. You've got to be the one that mentally and emotionally takes, I guess, takes charge and handles the situation. And, you know, you can resent him all day long, but it's like you drinking poison and expecting it to kill him. It's not going to happen. He's not in a position where he will step up and take responsibility. So, I mean, I wish I could be positive and I wish I could tell you, but you know me. I tell you what I see, how I get it, and I don't see him stepping up. I don't see him being responsible, doing what he needs to do. It would be so much easier if he would, but he's not equipped mentally and emotionally to do that. So it's kind of a situation where you're wanting him to, but you can't make him do it. So moved on, but I can't believe he would throw away. Some people don't have consciousness, that word that's tangled in my mouth. But he's just not one of those people. He's not one of those people that can handle it emotionally. I mean, in a lot of ways, when you got, can I even get pregnant? Well, I'll get back to you, Evelyn, in a minute because we're gonna talk about this. Okay. So But yeah, Julie, I don't. I feel like in a lot of ways, mentally and emotionally, he's a child. And he's not in a position to take responsibility. And in a lot of ways, my ex was like this also. When it was fun, when it was games, when things were smooth sailing, they're every bit of it. But the minute things got heavy or things got chaotic, guess who checked out and guess who was kept, doing it all. The way it feels right now, it's almost like he's in his second childhood. He's in his second youth, I guess. It feels like he's just out having fun, doing everything he can, instant gratification to stroke ego, because that's where it feels like he's at. So now you hold that. When you said, "Can I get pregnant?" I forgot to say that I'm taking supplements for my endometriosis and blocked fallopian tubes. That's probably why I was hearing, "Can I even get pregnant? Can I even get pregnant?" That kind of thing. So that makes sense. I've seen so many great reviews. I hope they work when I'm ready. So here's what I'm going to tell you how to do. You're going to want to go online, and you can buy this at most herbals, apothecary places. You're very welcome, Julie. You're going to look for red raspberry leaf and red clover. I believe Bulk Apothecary online has them both. Just for the record, I have nothing to do with Bulk Apothecary as far as any of that, but they do have great products at great prices. And so, if you want to look for things, it'd be a place to go. But what red raspberry leaf does is it pretty much primes you to get pregnant. And the red clover helps with fertility issues. It helps with the hormonal, the chemical imbalances. It helps with anything that's blocking that to kind of get you to where you need to be. You got it. You can get it at most places online by the ounce, by the pound, whatever. You're going to get it. You're going to boil it. You're going to make a tea out of it. Drink it 2 or 3 times a day. It doesn't even taste bad, really. I mean, you can put honey or whatever you want in it, but those two, it's not like a lot of teas that taste really nasty, unsweetened. That one actually tastes pretty good. So what you're going to do with that is, like I said, drink it 2 or 3 times a day. You have blockages in the fallopian tubes and endometriosis. So you're going to want to work with the endometriosis to kind of heal it, to bring that back up to par. So there is aloe vera supplements and there's aloe vera juice that you can drink. Personally, I think the juice tastes like what I imagine sewage would taste like. So take the supplements. What the supplements do is aloe vera, when you take it internally, it basically resets all of your DNA in your cells to what it would be like if they were normal and healthy. So what it does is it goes in these damaged areas. It tries to convert it to a happy, healthy cell. So you can drink that. You can take the supplements. Exactly. I prefer taking the supplements because, like I said, love how aloe vera tastes. Tastes good with honey. Well, see, some people like it. To me, it just has this almost alcoholish taste. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know. But so you take the aloe vera, you drink the tea with the clover and the red raspberry. Another thing that's a huge problem with people that have like endometriosis and all is the hormones. Get you a really good omega-3 supplement that's based off of fish oil. You can get it at GNC, you can get it at pharmacies, and that will help you correct the issues also. Okay. I deal with people all the time that have fertility issues. I ended up reading one woman that had fertility issues, and by fluke, because back home, that's what we did. My grandmothers were midwives. We helped people herbally get pregnant, And so I told this one woman, and she ended up getting pregnant, and she went and she basically posted our entire reading that I did on, there you go. You want to make sure it's based off of fish oil because it's really good. And it's just something in particular about that. It works good. But she went and posted her whole reading in this group for women that had PCOS and that had fertility issues. So I had like 300 messages on my Facebook in like 4 days because these women were messaging me wanting to know, have you ever heard of syrup? Have you ever heard of serapeptase? I don't, it sounds familiar, but I'm not like, it's not in my brain. So honestly, I would rather say no than to be like, oh, yeah, sure, and just say some shiznit. Um, so yeah, but take those, and it takes probably 2 or 3 months for everything to be regulated to get into your system. But I honestly believe it'll help you because I mean, I've got all those women that flooded my email box, and it's funny because it's been about a year to 15 months now, and I keep getting baby pictures. They always, Abby, you told me to do this and this and this, and I did it, and now I got a baby. And so, I mean, I'm constantly getting little cute baby pictures, so I can't complain. So, I love it. So, another thing is we will look, because I got my book right here. Just hang on for a second, folks. We're going to look and see what goes on for fertility. You guys just bear with me. Okay. Let me wipe these off because they're awful. So, herbs that you can use that help balance the hormones and help with pregnancy. Blackberry, basil, catnip, fennel, grape, lemon balm, sage, St. John wort, sunflower, vervain, violet, and yarrow. Sunflower, you can eat the seeds, but don't eat the plant itself. Violet and yarrow, I would not take internally. You could probably take a bath with it. Fennel, you can absolutely take internally. Fennel also helps with inflammation issues, which may be associated with the endometriosis. Yeah, okay, I forgot about this one. Black cohosh, you can get it at a pharmacy too. You can take it to regulate your hormones, but the minute you think you're pregnant, you need to stop that crap. So, because that one can actually, that's also something that's used once you are pregnant, because what it does is it creates like uterine contractions and stuff. So it helps to get you pregnant. But once you think you're pregnant, you got to quit because those uterine contractions can actually make you miscarriage. Mistletoe, you can hang it around the house. We're going to get, we'll just cover it all. So, yeah, stones, you can use green agate if you have it, carnelian, garnet, jade, jasper, green. Moss agate, onyx, rose quartz, and zoisite. So you can use any of those stones. I mean, I would say take a bath, and you could just, what's it got right there? Yeah, juniper is amazing too for babies. Smells really good too. You can actually put it in the bathtub. But star anise, coriander, all of that, patchouli has to do with fertility. Mushrooms for male fertility. I wonder why. What does a mushroom look like? Or what part of a male looks like a mushroom, I should say. So try those things. Follow me. Find me on social media. You can find me on Instagram at spiritual.awakenings, Facebook, Reads by Abby Black. You can subscribe here. That way you know when I come on. And you can hop in and you can be like, what it is, Abby. And I'll be like, what's up? So, all right. It's a very slow day. I think part of it is because I was having issues logging in because technology sucks. And it hates me. I, I got on like 15 minutes after I was actually supposed to. So you guys just kind of, I'm sorry. But it is what it is. But feel free to share out the broadcast also because I'm trying to get my followers to 100 because it is a relatively new channel. That way, once it is, I can actually put a real channel name. I'm limited to some, hello, JM. Hey, Chakra Lady. Who's that lady? Chakra Lady. So, how you doing today? How you doing, JM? What you got going on? You got anything in particular you want to discuss? Oh, let me go ahead and toss this back out here for you. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It is a gorgeous day. Won't you be my neighbor? But this is Chakra Week. So all my social media is talking about, did a couple deliveries. Good deal. But I know who you are. But yeah. All my social media this week is about chakras. It's about energy centers in the bodies, which is what chakras are. It's about, you know, how you can work with them, situations that, well, how you can heal them, things like that. So it's a good thing to know and knowledge. Also, this week is the sale for chakra alignments. You get a deep cleanse and you get ground centered and cleared the good way for $60, which is 25% off regular price because it's usually 80. And so definitely jump on that. Abby Black at Outlook.com is the email. Spiritual.awakenings is the Instagram. Facebook is Reads by Abby Black. You can hit me up on a message here. I'm not picky. Okay. Just contact me, learn about your chakras, keep them in check, make sure you don't have blockages. And if you do, find Abby because Abby will fix it for you. And then you'll feel so much better. Just makes things so much easier when your chakras and your energy centers are all good. Because, you know, it's kind of like if you were to go through a wall in the middle of a river, the water's flowing fine. You put that wall in it, it's got to fight to get around it. So that's kind of what happens within you when your chakras are not right. The energy doesn't flow easy. It has to fight to get around it. And then it ends up having, since it's struggling, it starts cutting off in this part or that part. And then you end up with issues like chakras that are completely blocked. It's like it starts giving you physical manifestations. So throat, you have ears, sinus issues, allergy issues. If it's your solar plexus or your sacral, you're going to have issues with, stomach, indigestion issues. It's like, for example, with Evelette in here, Evelette, what I suck at the name. I'm sorry. Chances are there's some root chakra issues in there because when you have those issues and they don't get taken care of for so long, you end up having health areas, issues in those areas. And your root chakra deals with fertility issues. So, chances are the first 6 years of your life were hell. You probably do not have strong family connections. You probably, well, it's manifesting. You have the physical illness, the endometriosis and all. But, it also deals with survival. and acceptance and being wanted and needed and feeling like you have legitimate value. And these are all root chakra issues. And so you probably got a blockage. So it manifests many ways. Each chakra in your body is associated with different physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual needs. You're looking at your root chakra, which is the bottom that everybody always sees in the diagram that goes up the spine. It's the red one. So she's sleeping. But it's the red one. And that deals with usually the first 6 years of life. It deals with all the issues that I was just talking about. Then you move into the sacral or the sacral, depending on where you're from. Say it different ways. That goes and it moves into digestion issues, stomach issues, and that's more or less you're looking at probably issues from sometimes it starts before 6 because there's a little layover in between it, but it's usually like 6 to 15, 16. And that's when you're really trying to establish who you are. And that's when you're trying to figure out what your tastes and your interests and your desires are. That's when we're forming our own identity separate of parents or whoever's raising us. And if at that point you had a real hard time and you didn't have healthy relationships and friendships, probably got issues there. Then you move into the solar plexus, and that's full on stomach issues. It can start creating issues like where you feel like you can't breathe, that kind of thing, because it sits right up under the diaphragm, which presses up on the lungs. It makes you feel like panic attacks, anxiety, but it's more or less in the stomach. Whereas some people experience the panic attacks in the throat, which is the throat chakra issue, which is typical with empaths. Anyway, you move back to the solar plexus, it creates stomach issues. That's usually you're saying 16 to 24, 25, those kind of issues. When you have a general idea of who you are, you're trying to make it in the world. That's usually when we start getting out there, putting ourselves out there to learn to work. That's when we start building serious relationships of our own, marriages, commitments. We start having children. It's all of these beginning times. And if you're in a position during those periods where, you know, maybe you get married and you're young, it doesn't work out, you feel insecure, you feel like you don't have the ability and the tools to move forward, you don't know what you're needing to do. All of that affects that solar plexus and it affects your survival. It affects your personal home. So, if your personal home is not stable, that's where it is. And so, as you progress, and I'm giving timelines because this is usually when I start seeing people have the issues, when I go back and do regressions. People may not be 25 or 30 or whatever, but it's just that's typically when I go back and do regressions or soul retrievals, when I see their issues start becoming relevant, if it makes sense. Um, you move into the heart chakra. Now, the heart and the throat are the two biggest ones I notice that empaths have issues with. The heart chakra is because everybody that's empathic is basically a sponge. And they go through life picking up everybody else's trauma and pain and suffering, and they internalize it and make it their own. And so there's a sadness about them, a feeling of never quite fitting in, a feeling of, just longing. People say that they're homesick and it's for somewhere they've never been or something they've never done. It's just dissatisfied disattachment. And there's so much pain, usually with these people that have the heart associations. They don't even want to look at it. They don't even want to deal with it because it's been over such a long period of time. It's built up. It's like tartar on your teeth. In the beginning, you can get it off relatively easy, but over time it hardens and you have to get it like actually scraped off with a dentist. You have to do things to kind of break it down. And that's when the heart chakra is messed up. Now, with the heart chakra, a lot of times it causes anger for no reason, anxiety, emotional imbalance. So a lot of people will appear bipolar, and it's because that heart chakra is a complete train wreck. Um, and a lot of it I see also with the empath is when I go in to remove the pain, when I do the chakra assessments, the pain is not even their own. 75% of it is coming from outside forces where they've took it on because they don't know how to ground center and clear. They don't know how to call back their energy. They don't know how to release other people's energies. So, excuse me, if I am working on you and you have that as an issue, at the end of the call, the end of the video, whatever, I always make a point to tell people what tools and tricks, tips they can use, for whatever areas they're the weakest. That way they can learn to not get in that position again. If you go up to the throat chakra is where, think about it, anytime you're emotional and you start to cry, the first thing you feel is a tightness in your throat. Because even though the heart has the feeling, the throat is where we feel it. And that's where we vocalize it. So if we're hurt or we're suffering or any of that, we express it through the throat. The throat is all about speaking our truth, our emotions, our feelings, our fears, our insecurities. If you're in a position like a domestic situation, or you're in a position, and I see this a lot with my people that are gifted, where you feel like you can't claim ownership of who and what you are. I see this with a lot of my people in the LGBTY, lesbian, gay, bisexual, tr- transgender community. I'm part of it and I can't even get the letters. Damn it. But I see it a lot because they have to hide who they are. They don't get to express who they are openly. And so it creates blockages in that throat because they want to be loved, they want to be accepted. So they keep that part of themselves pushed back. Um, what happens is when your throat chakra gets off, you start having issues with the rainbow children. Absolutely. You start having issues with sinuses, allergies, migraines, tensions in the neck and in the back of the head where your spine actually meets up to your skull. You start having all of these things, even vision problems. People go to the doctors and they're always, this is one of the things that trips me out. So many of my people that have these chakra blockages go to the doctors with stomach problems or chest pain. And the doctors are like, well, we see nothing wrong with you. We've ran test after test and we just can't figure it out because it's not the physical body, it's the spiritual body. But the spiritual body has the ability to manifest physically. And so when these doctors can't find these issues, it's because they're spiritual body issues. You need someone like a shaman or an energy worker, someone that can go in and actually see and deal with the spiritual body to fix it and heal it and move you forward. Okay. So that's what Abby does. That's what's on sale this week, y'all. That's why the theme is chakras, because I've been seeing it everywhere. Everybody has got these blocked chakras, and I want to fix it. You go up, the next one is the third eye chakra. They call it the temple chakra, the third eye chakra, the psychic center. That's where we're actually connected to our pineal gland, which is in the brain. When I go in and I'm working on people, I actually see the connection to the third eye. And if it's blocked, it is basically like obsidian. It's like thick black glass, rock that I have to break away. And it's because a lot of times when it comes to the third eye, we see, we hear, we feel things. We don't want the world to perceive us as crazy. So a lot of times we don't say anything or we tell ourselves we're crazy and we start blocking these skills and abilities off. And so what happens is at any point when you block a chakra off, the chakras above it go out of check. Okay. So if you got a root chakra issue, every one of these are going to be in balance. If you got a heart chakra issue, everything above it's going to be screwed. Most people, usually, you get to the solar plexus of the heart, there's issue. It's very rare I see someone who is just in alignment perfectly. Most of my clients that I read for, probably 75% of them, are other workers or spirituals, spiritual people in the community. Most of my clients are religious leaders, readers, Reiki masters, and we tend to not deal with ourselves. We deal with everybody else's issues. So I kind of fix that for them. But the third eye one, when you block it, you start having an issue with your ears, with your vision. You start not being able to think clearly because what you're doing is you're trying to block all of the tools that spirit uses to come get through with you, to deliver a message to you. So all of your other five senses will start suffering because they will start shutting down because the sixth sense is not in check. And if your sixth sense, third eye, is not in check, your crown chakra is not on at all because you have to have that sixth sense open to be receptive to the crown chakra being open, which is where the divine comes in and pours the knowledge through you and really truly can use you as a vessel. So, I hope that makes sense. If it makes sense and if you're in here, can you just kind of be like, yep, I hear you. Makes sense. Works. Just type a yes. If you're watching or replaying or whatever at this point, be like, yes, Abby, your progression makes sense. We feel it. We understand. Okay. Thank you, Julie. I appreciate that. So thank you very much for coming in here. It is very quiet right now. So, so if you managed to get to this point in the video and you actually watched it, I want to say thank you. Feel free to subscribe and hit the little bell. That way, when I go live, you get notifications and you can come in and you can see me. Also, follow me on Instagram at spiritual.awakenings, Facebook. You can find me under Reads by Abby Black. You can email me at abbyblack@outlook.com. I'm always accessible. I'm always here to answer questions. My end goal is to get people to a point of spiritual consciousness and awareness where they can basically connect to the divine, interpret the messages, and use it for their sanity and for the world's benefit. Because we're all individual consciousness, but we're all part of a collective consciousness. When we evolve and raise our our vibrations, we're raising the vibration of the planet, revolving its whole consciousness. So, the people that are growing, that are researching, that are studying, that are learning about themselves, coming to who they are, you're not just affecting yourself, you're affecting the planet in a positive manner. That's why they always say work on yourself first. Because if you work on yourself, you're going to raise everybody's vibration. So, I like to tell people, if you don't like the way the world's working right now, you don't like the people that are in power or the political situations or the way the environment's going, work on yourself. Because you can't really change other people's minds. But if you raise your frequency and vibration, you're going to pull them along. And as they get pulled along, they're not going to have a choice but to operate at a higher level, which is going to make their consciousness higher. So they're going to be more aware of other people's feelings, the things that are going on in the planet situation. It's not going to be so ego driven and driven, about self. It's going to be them giving a shit about the collective. So work on yourself, learn about yourself, educate yourself. And like I said, I have no problem helping anybody that ever comes across any of my videos, my anything. Message me if you have a question. If you don't want to work with me, that's fine. I know plenty of other readers. I know plenty of other energy workers. Just get you in check, whatever it takes. Okay, and there's plenty of resources. I have no problem directing you to them. But I want this place, the planet, to be a better place. And that means a lot of people have got to wake up. We've got to shake them. If we have the ability, shake them, wake them up. Okay? So that means people that are capable to be teachers, to be educators, do it. It's our place to give these new people with their new eyes and understanding knowledge so that they can keep pushing forward and progressing and we can move in the right direction. Okay? Got it? So if you haven't hit subscribe now. Find me on Instagram, spiritual.awakenings, Facebook, Reads by Abby Black. Message me if you have questions. Feel free to follow, share the broadcast. Got no problems with that. Sharon's Karen. And I will talk to you lovely, lovely people later. Bye-bye.